Update on my research. I am doing the history of science in sustainability and agriculture, just for those who don't know. And the group of sustainability researchers that I'm studying, they they just don't fit the picture. So I read a little bit about new public management and academia to try to figure out what's going on here. First, what is new public management? New public management is really not a difficult concept. So around the 70s and 80s, major Western governments started to change the way in which public institutions were being run. The core idea here was that public institutions needed to function more like businesses, because under this mentality, businesses were quite efficient. And there was also this assumption that public institutions were full of wasteful bureaucracy that could be totally eliminated under the leadership of a person with the right no bullshit mentality. In summary, from what I see, you could describe new public management as the neoliberalization of state infrastructure. Maybe that is not the most academically precise way of defining it, but there's definitely a little grain of truth there. Now, how does this change academia? Well, in the past, researchers used to enjoy quite a bit of autonomy. It used to be the case back in the day that researchers and their communities were the main responsible for deciding what to study and how to study that thing. And most of the work consisted in doing that research and then teaching about the things that they learned and then preparing students so that they can also become researchers. But then, after new public management takes control, academia changes in two main ways, at least according to these authors. First, now governments and funding bodies are the ones who decide what is going to be studied, and of course, they promote research that aligns with their interests. And second, now researchers have a fuck ton of work to do. So I mentioned this thing about funding, and it is not just the case that now researchers have to align with the interest of fund providers. No, that's not all. Now researchers also have to actively go out and try to find research grants or funding programs that align with the research and then compete for that money and then manage that money. And they have to do that for each project that they want to start. And so pursuing the money and then managing the money and then reporting how they use it, all of that basically becomes another job that scientists have to take. And I will add one point there, and it is that research also becomes measured by business metrics. The quality, the productivity, the merit of research and of researchers now has to be measured by easily quantifiable means. Quite neoliberal indeed. Now, the typical understanding of the situation, most often expressed by scientists and researchers themselves, is that public research has been fucked. So, at the macro and economic level, public research has lost autonomy, mainly because it has lost a consistent and continuous source of funding. Now, researchers and scientists have to hunt for money and compete for that money as if they were business startups. But they cannot, as a business startup would, use that money to gain financial independence by entering the market and becoming profitable, because public research is not a business. And of course, from this situation, plenty of other issues follow. Many describe the current system as broken, and those who are trying to do innovative research, things that have not done before, they're usually the ones that struggle the most. And here we go back to my case study, because against all odds, the group of sustainability researchers that I'm studying, this highly innovative, highly interdisciplinary group, they did and continue to do pretty well. Why? How? How do we make sense of these two stories? One of innovation thriving in certain specific groups, but still the larger academic system losing autonomy and hampering innovation. I still don't totally get it, but I'll keep studying to try to figure out.